into this investigation, and we're at this time. Here's what we know about the murder in Mulberry. Last night at about 12:50 a.m., we responded to 305 Gibbon Street in Mulberry to investigate a shooting where 37-year-old Paul Gregg Jr. was deceased from a gunshot wound. Deputies are currently meeting with Paul Gregg's girlfriend, 36-year-old Jessica Whidden, and her 15-year-old son, Michael Cole Whidden. At this point in the investigation, it's just a red-hot mess, and we're sorting it out. Apparently, Jessica's got another boyfriend, and we've got Paul Gregg, who was angry and mad, and we got the 15-year-old son, Michael Cole, that was caught in the middle. And apparently Paul Gregg was drunk last night, and they left to get away from him, and when they came back, he was asleep, and then he woke up, and then he decided he wanted to eat, and then he started threatening the mom. And then along the way, at some point in time in the melee, Michael Cole Whidden shot and killed Paul Gregg Jr. Now, what we're sorting out is this self-defense or is this murder? And we'll let you know that just as soon as our investigation is complete. We should have it sorted out by this afternoon sometime. But it's go ahead.
The gun that the boy used, was that it says here that Gregg had pointed a shotgun.
Yes.
Is that the gun the boy used?
Yes.
Or did he have another gun?
Shot him with a shotgun.
He somehow got the gun from the victim?
I don't see it. It says he's armed with a knife. Gregg was armed with a knife.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misread.
That's one of the allegations.
I thought it said.
Let me say this again, so if y'all missed it the first time and don't have time to review your tape, it's a red hot mess. We're trying to figure it out. Okay? I can tell you clearly, this was not Leave It to Beaver. Okay? It was not that environment at all. So we are trying. We've got a man that was drunk. We've got his girlfriend, who he's lived with for apparently about 5 years, who's known to partake in the evil liquid as well. We've got a boyfriend of the girlfriend. We've got a 15-year-old kid in the middle of this manure pile, and we're trying to sort it all out. And when we do, we'll let you know. But it's ugly. Anytime somebody dies, it's not good.
Did they contact you? Did they contact the sheriff?
Oh, they dialed 911. They ran from the house apparently and dialed 911.
Okay.
And the 15-year-old is in custody, he's being arrested for this thing? Or he's still self-defense?
We don't know. We have them here talking with them at this point in time. But we will let you know just as soon as we sort it out exactly what we're going to do with this investigation. It's preliminary. I mean, it just started at 12:30, and we're less than 12 hours into it, and we want to make sure we do this exactly correct. So, and here's the the $64 question: is it self-defense or is it murder? We know we have a death investigation, a homicide investigation, and as soon as we make that determination, we'll let you know. If it's self-defense, he'll go home. If it's murder, he'll go to jail. Yes, ma'am.
I have unrelated questions. Really quick, I know this isn't in your jurisdiction, the gun store getting hit in Bartow. Once again, a gun owner not locking up their guns. What do you have to say?
I don't know how many ways I can say this or how many different ways I can say this, but the bottom line is, if you have guns, you have an ethical and moral obligation to lock them up. If you run a gun store, you have a greater ethical and moral obligation to lock them up. You have to create a system whereby the guns are secure and the infrastructure the alarms, the video are such that it delays the burglars long enough trying to get in that law enforcement can get there to them. But sometimes they're more interested in making money than they are having a secure facility, and you end up with a burglary. I don't know a thing in the world about the Bartow burglary in the city of Bartow. I do know this, that burglars and thieves are not necessarily stupid people. They're looking for high return and low risk. And as long as the gun stores show a low risk and a high return, they're going to continue to be broken into. And where are those guns going? They're all going to the street, where they're going to be sold on the street, and the overwhelming majority of them are going to be used in other crimes and other murders and potentially against law enforcement officers. And it makes me hopping up and down mad when a gun store won't appropriately secure the guns. Now, I don't know if that's the case in Bartow. Maybe there was some elaborate systems that they had and the burglars just were able to compromise those, but I doubt it. And I can tell you the fact that we stand up and say, secure your firearms, maybe not sufficient. I also have my crime prevention people going around and making contact with all the gun stores, going, would you help a brother out here? Would you lock your stuff up?
But you shouldn't have to beg. There should be a
No.
law that says we're going to kick you in the butt if you don't do the right thing. Why is there not a law like that on the books?
Well, you know, it's sad that you got to make a law for everything. I mean, to me, the common sense here is they lose a whole lot of money. And probably they're not insured, or if they're insured, once they give these guns away to the burglars for not insuring them right, they probably don't have insurance the second time. Some things you would think just our capitalistic society would take care of itself. But that's the next step. If people don't behave and don't take care of the guns, you can imagine that there will be legislation at some point in time entered or requested through the state of Florida that says, hey, you're criminally liable if you don't at least secure your guns. But it's not there yet. You know, normally the legislature does not react to a single event or a small trend, but it frustrates me very badly because these guns all go to the street, to the crooks. Nobody buys a gun off a street corner at a substantially reduced risk, a brand new gun. They just don't do it unless they're a crook or a convicted felon and can't get a gun any other way.
How many more of these burglaries have to happen? I mean, before something happens.
Well, you know, many years ago, there was some burglaries in an area, and all of a sudden the burglaries dried up. And I go, you know why the burglaries dried up? And they go, why? I said, well, because there's nothing left to steal there. So it's like, I don't know. You know, if I own a gun store and I see the burglar stealing guns hand over fist, I say to myself, we need to have a reevaluation of our security system here. Obviously, some gun stores still haven't got the message.
Why Polk County? Do we have a big old Target over here? Do we have a low-hanging fruit?
Well, what occurs is a lot of these burglars want to get out of their home area, so they go to another county. And when they come to an area and they have a successful burglary of a gun store, it makes news. So the other burglars home watching your evening news program go, hey, I think I'll try that deal out. So, you know, some of it is television marketing. But you would think your gun store would figure that out as well. It frustrates me very badly, and I've got to tell you, the people that I know that own gun stores are good people, and they would not intentionally allow someone who shouldn't have a gun have a gun. But if you're not locking your store up appropriately, whether you mean to or not, you're allowing those folks to have guns. So listen to me. Again, lock your guns up. If you don't, the thugs are going to have them. Anything else you want to talk about? How about Wall Street? We can talk about that.
How about criminals on the social welfare program?
That's
No, no,
right.
Don't go there. We don't have all day.
See y'all later.
Excuse me.